Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Face the State on Montana's news station.
And hello there, I'm Jeff Kelly. Welcome to our show today. Glenn Oppel is with us. He's the government affairs official with the Montana Association of Realtors. And Ronda Tompers is with us too. She's the state representative. And what a topic, real estate. It's so wide. Everybody's been talking about it for the last, well, many years. For the last 3 years, it's really been a heightened topic for people all over the country and right here in Montana. We want to talk about a report that just came out too that the University of Montana helped you guys with. This report is extensive. It's 109 pages. I would have printed it out, but I didn't want to kill a couple of trees doing it. But a lot of information in there, Glenn. Kind of summarize a little bit what the report's pretty much saying to us in 2011 here, the state of Montana real estate.
That's right, Jeff, and thanks for having us on today. We've been doing this report with the University of Montana's Bureau of Business and Economic Research now for 4 years, and as you know and as many Montanans know, there's some economic challenges out there, and the housing market is not immune from those challenges. And what we're seeing with these major market indicators and what we look at with the report are the sales price, obviously, the median sales price, days on the market, sales volume, how many transactions are taking place in these areas. We also look at, with the report, we look at foreclosure information as well as housing starts. And what we're seeing is there's definitely a slump there, and you can see that in the indicators. But there's definitely some good information. There's some positive information coming out of the study as well. The centerpiece data that we put out with this report is what we call the Housing Affordability Index. And what you're seeing in the 8 areas, the 8 large areas that we feature in the report, is that housing affordability is increasing.
If you get a score of like 100 on that, you were doing okay in your particular county? Exactly.
What that 100 means is that the median household income, which we get from the U.S. Census data, has 100% of what it takes to purchase the median priced home. Now, if you dip below that index of 100, that means you're tending towards less affordability. If you're above it, say like Butte, which is has the highest affordability index in the state, that means you're tending towards more affordability.
So we're looking at these things changing, ebbing and flowing from year to year then. And you're seeing this. This also, Ronda, takes into account, obviously, the income, too. And a lot of people's income has dipped over the last couple of years, too. So that takes the rating and goes up and down depending on how much people are making, right?
That's exactly right. And along with that goes that when you have the income that dips a little bit, you'll see that the houses in value are also coming down a little bit so that we can get more of the people to be able to afford the homes that we have in Montana today. So we look at that a little bit, but we're also seeing that we're having a gradual income increase also for a little bit in Montana. So it stabilizes our market of what we're really working with. And in today's world, the buyers are very aware of what's happening. They're very cautious of what's going on in their purchase price.
Do you find it's taking people longer to make up their mind about buying a house? I mean, do they kind of, you know, before maybe there was a rush before the recession, and there were people standing in line around the country to buy a home. Do you find people now can sit back, at least on a buyer's market like this, sit back and kind of take their time and decide whether they're going to make a decision on this or not? And
That's a very good point today. Because of the supply that we have for inventory on the market today, it gives the buyers a lot more opportunity to choose of what they want to go for. And with the interest rates being so low, they have enough time that they can do a lock-in so that they can get that perfect home that they're looking for.
We have a graphic up here of the Montana housing prices, and it's going to vary from county to county, but maybe we could touch on this a little bit. You know, lots of numbers here and whatnot. Maybe we could, Glenn, give us a general idea of what this is telling us right now as far as Montana real estate goes.
This particular graphic shows you, compares some of our major urban areas, say like Billings, to some of the also some regional prices as well as national. And what you see is because we did not have the high highs that you saw in some other areas of the country, as those prices are softening in this downturn, they're not softening as much as they are in other places in the region and in the nation.
So we didn't have those spikes and the peaks and the highs and the lows quite as dramatic as places like Arizona, California, Nevada, where they're just through the roof with foreclosures and whatnot.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's, I was going to tie that into the foreclosure, because we haven't seen the high highs like you've seen in California or Florida or Las Vegas or Phoenix, those particular areas. Our foreclosure rates are pretty comparatively low compared to the region and the nation. But we do have a few counties where if you were going to see the high highs anywhere, like Gallatin, Flathead, some of our resort-oriented communities, that's where we've seen some of those foreclosures in a higher foreclosure rate.
Is Montana real estate still an attractive thing for people from some of the other larger states, some of the larger areas? I know we had a huge influx in population over the last 10 years, people coming from other states coming here and thinking, this is a bargain, what you can get in Montana. Is that mindset still out there, or have we lost a little bit of that?
We've lost a little of it. We have lost a little bit, because anytime that you have those markets where they sold their homes at the high end, came to Montana to pick up the good deal, you're not seeing that as much happen today. So we've lost some of it, but we're also still seeing a lot of Canadian trade coming down.
Oh, yeah. With the exchange rate being...
Exactly.
So they're coming down. We have another graphic here, too, about some of the foreclosures, some of the delinquencies out there, too. And let's talk a little bit about that. You can see where it's the red states, again, Nevada, California, and Arizona. It's pretty out of control there as far as foreclosures go, and those prices drop dramatically. But here, we have some blue and red shown up on our map, too, so things can be good or bad depending, as you talked to earlier, Glenn, in different counties.
Yeah, if you look at Montana, you can distinguish it from the western part of the country, where you're seeing really high rates of foreclosure. We only have 8 counties in Montana that are over 6 foreclosures per 1,000 units, and the 1,000 units is based on the U.S. Census data. And those counties are Flathead, Lake, Ravalli, Gallatin, Park, Sweetgrass, Macomb, and Carter. You can see those in the red there in Montana. So our foreclosure rates are pretty low, but it certainly is an issue to keep our eyes on.
This is an assumption, but I mean, are some of those counties are the ones that we might have more people that have second homes here in Montana? Is that part of what happened?
Right, and Ronda could talk to this too, but it's no coincidence that there's a correlation between those particular counties that might have more of the resort-type communities, second home-type communities that are seeing the higher foreclosure rates, because those homes have definitely gone down in value.
Well, there's something to talk about here too. On the high-end homes, have they dropped more than what the medium-price homes were in terms of percentage-wise from when we had this big kind of a false rise in the home prices?
I definitely think that you've seen those high-end homes come down more in value of what we're used to seeing, because of the fact that, number one, the people themselves, when you have those, the amount of are in the foreclosure ratings that they are, is going to create the market to see a decrease in the value of the homes also. So you always will have that little bit of there, but along with that, it goes to the point that you have more people being able to move up into the affordable homes that they'd like to move into their different areas, which will create more of our lower end homes, opening up the market for the medium buyers that can purchase in Montana.
I want to touch on foreclosures here for a second, because a lot of people are out there looking for a bargain. It seems to be a buyer's market, and maybe has been. How long has it been a buyer's market? And is the foreclosure thing to get a loan, it seems to be such a hassle for a lot of people. Is it worth the effort?
I think today what's going on with anybody getting a loan today is really a tough situation, because the amount of foreclosures that we've had nationwide. So what happens then is that they look at a lot more stringent things that you're working with in regards to getting that financing.
We have a graphic up here talking about that too, around from county to county, about some of the delinquency rate out there. So it is tough to get one of these, but if you do, you're going to get a bargain. Is that correct?
You are going to get a bargain. And along with the foreclosure rate, you're seeing a lot of the short sales going on along with it, which if there isn't enough equity there that they can, if they don't have enough money for the value of the home, that short sale will take into place over the foreclosure. And so you've got that you're working with too. So
there's a lot of confusion about short sales versus foreclosures. Maybe you could just kind of break that down quickly, because a lot of people are out there. I kind of have a grasp of it, but I think there is some misinformation out there. Maybe we could break that down.
Okay, great. On a short sale, what happens is the seller is willing to sell the home, but the value isn't there enough of what he has for an outside mortgage, so he's upside down in his home. So what the lender is usually willing to do is to work with it to get that price to be in line of what that home value is really worth. And so he still owns a home while the short sale is taking process. In a foreclosure, the bank has taken it over.
Okay.
The lender has taken that homeowner, and it's up to them to determine what that price is going to be, what they want to have.
All right. Well, I also got to ask you, because people can move anywhere. It's the United States of America. They do anything you want. How do we compare, Glenn, to other Western states that also have, people are trying to decide, do we move to Park City? Do we move some places in Utah? Do we move Wyoming? Where do we go? How do we compare? How do we stack up with people out there trying to, a lot of retirement people out there too. And we were rated here in Bozeman, one of the top 10 places to retire again. How do we compare with other states as far as the statistics go, affordability factor and whatnot for Montana?
Good question. I don't have exact data on where Idaho's median prices are or where Wyoming's are, but comparatively speaking, we've got some a good stock of affordable housing in Montana. And what the great thing about our report is it's showing that affordability is increasing. If you look at areas like Gallatin, Flathead, Missoula, or Valley, where we've had the most acute problems with affordability, you're seeing that price softening, the price is stabilizing more, so we've got more affordability, and it makes it more attractive to people that might want to migrate to Montana.
Exactly.
Housing affordability has a big impact on labor migration in particular, as well as business growth. Companies are going to look at bigger areas like Billings and Bozeman to consider either expanding their business or bringing a new business into town. But one of the things they're going to look at when they do that is they're going to look at housing affordability, because
and we could be a winner in that then.
That's what I'm getting at. And businesses will look at housing affordability when they look at an area and they compare it to Boise, Salt Lake,
and that's
Spokane.
shifted. That's shifted in the last several years, hasn't it?
Yes.
So there, like in any recession, there's winners and losers in all this, and you guys have to go out as the state and market this to businesses too. And so you're saying that we might be, in fact, one of the winners out of this, particularly because we weren't so high and then so low and taking these huge dips, and there's a little more confidence for businesses to come in here and have an affordable housing for some of their employees.
Yeah, they want to know that that prevailing wage that they're going to pay their employees is going to be enough for them to find adequate housing. And we're tending more towards that scenario, and I think that does give us an advantage over some of the other states in our region.
And we have a buyer's market right now. So is the buyer really a winner? Because it's kind of fuzzy when you do the economics of it. You hit your calculator. It seems like you would be doing well, but it's still kind of fuzzy because nobody seems to know where the real estate market's going. So what do you tell those folks out there that want to jump in but are still kind of afraid to get their feet wet?
Well, what we work with all the buyers that we work with is that, determining where they want to be at with their payment and everything they're working with. And we tell them what a great advantage it is that they're able to do this today. So when they can go out there and they can see the inventory that we do offer, we have a lot of it, they can do a lot of negotiating on that price. And so, being a buyer's market, you can negotiate the price, and that's going to make everybody, a more satisfied person in the long run. Buyers today are very, very savvy on what they're doing. We have a lot more education that's going on for them to work with them, so we don't lead them down a road that's going to be a problem for them.
And people are a lot more cautious right now,
very
too,
cautious.
with things. And let's bring up renters then. I mean, this is a factor, but a lot of people have had homes out there that they can't necessarily sell, so they rent when maybe they don't want to keep things going. Is it a good thing for renters in the state of Montana?
It's a good thing for renters to come into Montana if you can find that rental home that's going to be available to rent. Because what we're seeing is, at least in the Great Falls area, for instance, is that we don't have a lot of rentals on the market, so they're paying top dollar at the end for that rent that they're paying for. And in the long run, is it better for them to be paying the top dollar or to be making an investment in the equity that they're going to have something to look forward to of owning a home? So we always have that comparison out there, and Glenn's got a